Hello, I will talk shortly about the stars. The closest star to Earth is our Sun, that is 150 million kilometers from the Earth. And it takes to the Sun's rays 8 minutes to reach the Earth. So you can say generally that any celestial body that emits light and heat as a result of nuclear fusion is called a star, whereas any celestial body that rotates around a star is called a planet. So the next closest, our Earth is a planet that rotates around the Sun, that is a star, and actually the Earth completes one orbit around the Sun in 365 days. And the Earth completes one orbit around the Sun in 365 days or in 1 year. Okay, the next closest star to the Earth is the star Proxima Centauri, that is 4 light years from the Earth. That is to say, the light emitted from the star Proxima Centauri travels for 4 years until it reaches the Earth. Okay, so theoretically, if there was a wedding on the star Proxima Centauri and the wedding was broadcasted live to Earth, and you get the pictures from the wedding now at April 2023. So actually the wedding itself on the star Proxima Centauri took place at April 2019, because it took to the pictures from the star Proxima Centauri to 4 years to arrive to the Earth. Okay, so you can say in general that when you look at the stars, you are actually looking into the past. Okay, so now I will explain what is a star. A star is a spherical celestial body that emits light and heat as a result of nuclear fusion, and the star composed with a matter in a state of gas and plasma aggregation. And actually the number of the stars in the visible universe, the number of the stars in the visible universe is about 7 times 10 to the power of 22, or other estimation is 10 to the power of 24. Okay. Now I will explain what is the structure of the stars in the visible universe. So the stars in the visible universe are organized in structures of galaxies, and the galaxies themselves are organized in structures of galaxy structures, and the galaxy structures are organized in structure of superclusters, and the superclusters themselves are organized in structures of great walls. And the Great Walls is actually the largest structures known in the visible universe. Now I will explain what is a galaxy. A galaxy is a collection of many stars held together by the force of gravity, and all the stars in a galaxy rotate around the center of the galaxy. And an example of a galaxy is the Milky Way. Actually, our solar system is placed into the Milky Way, and so is the Earth, that is placed in the solar system, and the number of stars in the Milky Way is about 200 billion stars. Other estimation is 400 billion stars. And as I have already told you, all the stars in the Milky Way or in any galaxy rotate around the center of the galaxy. So that is the galaxy. And then a collection of many galaxies held together by the force of gravity is called a galaxy cluster. And in a galaxy cluster you can have hundreds to thousands of galaxies. And then you have a bigger structure than a galaxy cluster. That is superclusters. You can have in a superclusters is actually many galaxy clusters that held together by the force of gravity, and you can have in a superclusters thousands of galaxy clusters, and the size of a supercluster could be 100 million light years long up to 400 million light years long. And then you have bigger structures than superclusters. Actually, many superclusters that held together by the force of gravity and move in the universe as one unit is called Great Wall. Great Wall, as I've already told you, is the largest structure known in the visible universe, and an example of a great wall. So, as I already told you, a very large amount of superclusters that held together by the force of gravity and moves in the universe as one unit is a great wall. And an example of a great wall is huge LQG that is about 1 billion light years far away from Earth, and the size of huge LQG is about 1.37 billion light years long. Okay, so we can summarize the topic of the structure of the stars in the visible universe, and we can say that the stars in the universe are organized in structure of galaxies, which in turn organized in structure of galaxy clusters, which in turn the galaxy clusters are organized in superclusters, and the superclusters themselves are organized in a structure called great walls. Okay, so that is the structure of the stars in the visible universe. Okay, thank you very much.